All right, and welcome. So, last time that we talked, we went over ecosystems and the big patterns that help them all work. And one of those patterns was something called symbiosis. Everybody say it with me real quick. Symbiosis. Your turn. All right. So, this is when two different species live close enough together that they're in a relationship where at least one of them benefits. Now, symbiosis can show up in a bunch of different ways, but it always means two living things are kind of stuck with each other. Whether that's a good thing or not, well, that's yet to be seen. And that depends, honestly. So, we're diving into the three types of symbiosis. If you'll remember, yesterday we went over it a little bit, but today we're going to dive a little bit deeper, okay? So, these are a little bit like some best friends that are roommates. Others are roommates that barely talk, and some, well, are downright evil. So, let's start with the friendliest one. Mutualism. Let's bring in just a little bit. Oh, yep, let's bring in just a little bit. There we go. Mutualism. Mutualism is when both organisms benefit. It's a win-win. Everyone's happy. One of the best examples is the classic one, bees and flowers. Bees feed off of flowers' pollen, and then they get the nectar. Flowers feed off of bees' pollen that attaches themselves to their legs, and then the bees get nectar to make honey. And while it's buzzing around, it also spreads pollen from flower to flower. So the bees get food, and the flower gets to reproduce. That's mutualism. Both of those things are good. So an example of mutualism is bees and flowers. Okay? Bees and flowers. Now, there's also some more. Mutualism is another great example is cleaner fish and big fish. So little fish swim up to huge fish, even sharks, and they eat off the parasites off their skin. The little fish get the food, and the sharks do not have to worry about parasites. Spa day, anyone? That's kind of what it is. It's like a spa day for the shark all the time. Okay? And did you know that humans have mutualism going on too? Inside of your gut, inside of everyone's stomach, are tiny bacteria that help you digest your food. You give them a place to live and something to munch on, and they help you stay healthy. Gross? Yes. But true? Also yes. And helpful. Okay. Now let's switch it up. Now we're going to go to the meh stage. So we were at mutualism. And mutualism is where both organisms benefit. Commensalism. Everybody say commensalism. Now, commensalism is the type of symbiosis where one organism benefits and the other one is like, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't help them, but it also doesn't hurt them. Think of it as the ultimate freeloader. A perfect example is barnacles on whales. Barnacles are little crusty sea creatures that stick onto the whale's skin, and the whale swims around with the barnacles on them. Now, the whale, it might be a little aggravating, but it's kind of like what am I gonna do? I'm not gonna complain too much. The whale doesn't really even notice. It's giving someone a ride to work every day, and they never pay for gas. So it can be a little annoying, but it's not end of the world. Now, here's another one. Birds get shelter with birding nests in trees. Trees don't necessarily care, do they? However, does one organism benefit? Absolutely. So, for our commensalism talk, we're going to go with the example of birds and trees. Now, I know that you don't normally think of trees as an organism, but it absolutely is. Okay, Now let's do the dramatic one. Let's bring you in real close here. There you go. All right, now let's go into the real dramatic one. We have parasitism. And I want you guys to stop right here and tell me, what is an example of a parasite? Parasite. All right. So, parasitism is when one organism benefits by actually harming the other. Not cool. In parasitism, one species is getting their food or protection or something useful, and the other is actually paying the price. Let's talk about ticks on dogs. Obviously, ticks are getting fed. I'm actually going to put that down now. Ticks on dogs. Ticks and dogs. Now, here's the thing. Dogs maybe don't mind right away, but ticks carry all sorts of diseases, and they can actually kill a dog. Trust me, I know I've had one pass away from it. But that is parasitism, because the tick is getting fed, and it's feeding what off the dog? Well, it's feeding off its blood. Now, here's the thing about that, is the tick bites into the dog's skin and drinks the blood. The tick gets a free meal. The dog gets itchy, irritated, and possibly, most likely, sick if it stays. Not exactly a fair trade, right? Or how about tapeworms inside of animals? So I'm going to give another one here. Tapeworms and animals. Now, all sorts of animals can have tapeworms. I'm sure some of you probably have heard of a dog having a tapeworm or something of that sort. That tapeworm is a parasite, okay? And parasites have to do with parasitism. All right. Now, here's another one. Another example is mistletoe on trees. Now, you really don't think, if you're like me, I'm going to zoom out just a little bit. If you're like me, you don't necessarily think of trees as getting hurt or anything, but they can. Any organism can be hurt in some way, shape, or form. So, mistletoe on trees, it might look cute at Christmas, but mistletoe is actually a plant parasite. It attaches to a tree and steals the water and nutrients of that tree, which weakens the tree over time. Okay? So while you're kissing under the mistletoe, hopefully none of you are, just know that it's out there committing crimes in the forest. All right, so let's do a quick recap. So we already went over parasitism. Parasitism is when one animal or organism, not always an animal, like we said with the mistletoe, one organism benefits from the other. Okay, then we have commensalism. Now, commensalism, one species benefit and the other doesn't care. Remember, that's like birds on trees and like barnacles on whales. Then finally, we have the good one. Everybody benefits. Mutualism. Bees and flowers, everyone is happy. So, let's do a little practice. I'm going to give you a few examples, and you're going to decide, is it mutualism, commensalism, or parasitism? I'm going to zoom you out just so you can see almost everything. There we go. All right, so, first one, are you ready? Clownfish living in sea anemones. The clownfish gets protection, and the enema, the enema, gets cleaned and kept free of parasites. What do you think? I'm sorry, not enema, an enemy. What do you think? Pause right here. That's mutualism. Both benefit. So another example of mutualism might be fish and sea anemones. Oh, let's see. Whew, that's a hard word. Whew, sea anemones. Okay. Example 2, are you ready? Remora fish swimming under sharks. The remora fish eats leftover food, and the shark doesn't notice. What do you think? Do you think it's mutualism? Do Do you think it's commensalism? Or do you think it's parasitism? Pause right here. Okay, the answer is it's commensalism. Now, what was that again? Let's see. Remora fish and sharks. And those are the type of fish that you guys see sometimes. You see some fish under sharks just swimming and stuff. Those are actually eating the leftovers from the shark. Whenever the shark eats and tears something up, it's ripping at it, and some are falling to this remora fish. Okay, now example 3. A mosquito biting a human. What do you think that is? Do you think it's mutualism, commensalism, or parasitism? Excuse me. That, a mosquito biting a human, is parasitism. And humans. All right. See, you're already getting pretty good at this. Now, so next time you're outside or watching a nature documentary, try to spot some examples of symbiosis. They're all around us. Ask yourself, are both species benefiting? If they are, that's mutualism. Is one just hanging out? If they are, that's commensalism. And then finally, if one is benefiting and the other one is fading away, that is parasitism. Okay? Symbiosis isn't just a science word, it's a whole pattern of life on Earth. Once you start noticing, you'll see it everywhere. All right, that's it for this one. Great job today. Keep your eyes wide open for weird partnerships in nature, and I'll see you in the next video. Have a good one. Bye-bye.
A huge thank you to Bridgestone for sponsoring our channel. You probably know them because they make super strong tires that help cars, trucks, and even race cars zoom around safely. Tires might not seem exciting, but without them, we couldn't get to school, go on road trips, or even visit our favorite places. Thanks to Bridgestone, we get to keep making these awesome videos for you. So big thanks, Bridgestone. Big shout out to OBSBot for sponsoring our channel. This little camera is awesome. It follows you around like it's got eyes and makes everything we do look super clear and cool. We get to make fun videos for you because of them. So thanks, OBSBot.